Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back. Anyway, we're just going to do a quick oil change on a GMC Terrain. It is a 2016. It has the 4-cylinder engine, which I believe is a 2.4 liter. Might say somewhere. It is a, yes, 2.4 liter engine. And it is a 2016. I believe the 2015s are the same. Anyway, so to get started, if you notice way down here, that is your oil filter. You can use either a 1 1/4 socket or a 32 millimeter. Both of those fit on there pretty good. You could also use a crescent wrench. I've done it with a crescent wrench in the past. It takes a long time because you can only get like one small turn at a time, and it takes quite a while. If you do use a socket and a ratchet, you will need some extensions and a swivel because it is in there tight, and you really only want to crack it loose a couple turns and then take the rest off by hand. If not, the socket will hit that stainless line right there. So I have cracked it loose already. We will take the oil filter out, and it just chimed last week that the oil service is due. So I looked at the oil on the dipstick. It's dark, but it's not crazy, so didn't go too far over. This is not my car, it's a friend of mine's. So anyway, so we'll put a new cartridge filter on. Don't forget to put the new O-ring on with the new oil filter as well. It is right here. You can see where my finger's at. And put a new O-ring on every time you put a new filter on. Put that in there. Arrow obviously goes in the top direction. It's not really an arrow, but you can use it as one. And then come back down here where we used a 15 millimeter on the oil pan. Let's see if I can do this without getting soaked. You always want to start your vehicle up and let it warm up. Get any sediments that are in that oil up and flowing, not just sitting on the bottom. But you also don't want to do it while it's burning hot. So, drive around, do some errands, let it cool down for an hour, 2 hours, and then you should be ready to go. And then you're off. Nice. Didn't get it too bad. A couple drops. So we'll let that drain out. It does look pretty dark down here, so it was definitely due, but not severely overdue. A couple days. And we just did the air filter on this last oil change, so that should still be good. Now would be a good time for checking any other leaks, checking your CV boots for tears, or if there's grease leaking out. I believe this, like many new cars, don't have any grease zerks on them anymore. They're all sealed bushings. You can get a needle point grease barb that hooks onto the front of your grease gun and shoot some grease into those. I would recommend it. I do on my personal stuff, but this car currently only has, I think, about 38,000 on it, so it's probably about due. The downside of using that method of doing it is that you the hole you put into the bushing to grease it, you're just going to puncture it right into the side of the rubber. Put a pump or so in there, but unfortunately sometimes excess grease leaks out of it, and you're also putting a hole in the boot that's made to keep dust and dirt out. So it's not a huge hole, but it's a hole. So do as you so choose. I grease mine. It's recommended to probably grease them, but there again, they make everything non-serviceable anymore. It's almost like they want you to throw your vehicles away. Anyway, so that oil is just about done draining. We'll give it a couple more seconds. It's hard to see on camera, but it is streaming still. Just a little bit. So, and I believe these do not have fuel filters. I could be wrong. I haven't looked it up. I don't believe it would be due for that yet if it did have one, but most vehicles, manufacturers now just put an in-tank screen, and that's all they got. So screen in tank. The only way to change the filters to drop the tank. It's not something you normally do. Fuel pump goes out, you put a new fuel pump in, and it has a new screen. That's basically how that works. So we're just about to a drip. Come on, I ain't got all day. So that's the other thing too. If you you start your vehicle, drive around, let that oil get nice and warm, it'll drain out a lot quicker because it's warm, which thins out the oil, and it'll drain quicker. Versus if it's ice cold, it's gonna drain out like syrup. Come on, come on, come on. I know if I don't finish letting it draining, everybody's gonna be blowing me up in the comments. Drain, damn you. So anyway, your oxygen sensor's right there. If you ever had to replace it, at least one of them is. There may be two on this car. Sometimes there's a upstream and a downstream. It looks like the catalytic converter's right back there. I don't see any wires going behind it, so it may just have a an upstream cat. All right, there we are, down to a drip. So we'll put our plug back in, snug it up with a good ugga dugga. You don't have to go full crazy. I believe the torque spec on this is like 17 or 18 foot-pounds, which isn't much. You never want to reef those on, because if you strip one out or get one stuck in there, they can be a bear. Mind you, I have a big ratchet on here, but I'm not going to use a lot of torque on it. That should be good. It doesn't take much. Alright, let's go back up top. Get our oil pan out. Get up off the ground. Alright, here's our oil filter. That just clicks off. If I can do it with one hand. There we go. I will go and get a screwdriver to get this O-ring out, if you can see it. Ooh, what are we doing here? There we go. Let me go grab a screwdriver. Okay, so I'll try and do this on camera. Just take your screwdriver right here, pry up on this O-ring, discard it, don't need it. Make sure any dirt and debris out of here. The good thing about these cartridge filters is they go in from the top, and when you take them out, they don't really leak a lot of oil. And you don't have to pre-fill them with oil like some people do. Alright, so we have our new oil filters, or oil filter. I've got a Mobil one. I looked at the Fram Tough Guards and they just look like crap. So this just clicks in here. It stays kind of loose. So don't worry if yours seems loose. They don't go super tight. They just kind of clip onto that little base in there. Put your new O-ring on. Make sure you don't roll it or stab it. Just put it down here in the groove like that. Helps if you bring your screwdriver and run it around once or twice, straightens it out, and make sure it's not twisted. Like I said, there's your oil filter. Point up. And today I'm using Pennzoil full synthetic 5W30. Manufacturer calls for a full synthetic 530. Use whatever brand you want. To each their own on that. The new O-ring, or the old O-ring came off with the cap, so it's not like the spin-on from the bottom, so you got to worry about a gasket staying behind. And also, if you remove that dipstick, it's a lot easier to get into the get access to the oil filter. So let's put that back down in there. Start it by hand. Twist, 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 twist. Snug by hand. You can use your wrench. Or you can put the socket on there like I am about to do. So I use a 32. It seems a little bit easier to get on and off that oil cap, but like I said, the 1.25 inch works really good too. So I'll put that in there. Get our ratchet, and there again, you don't have to go full crazy tight on this. It's plastic components. I don't need to go crazy. You'll usually feel when they stop too, if you don't slip off. Like I said, that's on a real weird angle. It's almost like they don't want you to change the oil. Back to the throwaway again. Alright. And snug. And torque click. There you go. It just goes to a point and then stops. Not crazy scientific. After you start it back up and put the oil in, before you start it back up, just make sure it doesn't leak. Take a look at it. Put the dipstick back in. The manufacturer calls for 5 quarts, which is 1.25 gallons. So we'll find us a funnel. Hey, this looks like a funnel. And we will dump the entire quart of this jug in. There again, Pennzoil full synthetic. 5 winter 30. Try not to get it all over. And holding the camera and filming's not always, and changing your oil's not always easy. So there we go. Put all of her in there. Check the level, start it up, and that's about it. Don't forget to put your drain plug back in your pan. Otherwise you're gonna have one big mess on your driveway. So anyway, that concludes today's video of an oil change on a 2016 GMC Terrain. And thanks for coming. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be doing more service videos, been doing some more boat racing. I've got some videos on the GoPro, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to put them on my laptop and upload them from there. So I'm not sure if there's a way to do it from the phone, but anyway, I'll get some nice racing video on there, drag racing, and should be fun. We did a last race was in at Parker, Arizona, on the river. The next race is going to be at Chandler at Wild Horse Pass. That will be the last race before they close that track, and then there will be one last final race of the season over in Bakersfield, California. Date yet to be determined. So anyway, have fun. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one.